It's happy hour from uptown New Orleans. Hey, everybody out there in the internet world. I am Rich Collins, a musician slash producer slash journalist and father of five. I married a New Orleans girl, and I've been living in this city for 25 years. Lived in the quarter and mid-city, and now I'm uptown, right near Wayfair on Ferret Street, as a matter of fact.
And you don't sound anything like Grant Morris. What did you do with Grant Morris?
I'm happy to be sitting in for Grant Morris today, my good friend, also for 25 years. I'm glad to be here, folks. Happy Hour is a part of the family of shows on the podcast network, itsneworleans.com. When you walk into a bar in New Orleans and pull up a bar stool, you never know who's going to be sitting on either side of you. What you do know is, no matter what they look like, what they're wearing, whether they just got out of a limo or out of jail, they're going to be happy to talk to you. Because that's New Orleans. This is Happy Hour, a cocktail-fueled 60 minutes of random conversation with folks who have nothing in common other than we're all New Orleanians in a bar, and in the case of today, we are all musicians. Today, we are at Wayfair on Ferret Street. Wayfair is a restaurant and bar serving handcrafted food and spirits with a whole new menu and a radically new 3-hour happy hour every day from 3 to 6. This is radical. Everything is half price. The drinks, the appetizers. Wayfair on Ferret Street. All right, folks, let's start it off. I want to introduce my fellow panelists today. I am happy to be sitting here with Andy Overslaw.
Hey.
Introduce yourself, Andy.
Oh, my name's Andy. I've been living in New Orleans since 2001. 20-year veteran bartender.
Nice.
Yeah, and betrothed to Lori Tipton, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah, my notes say you're, I don't know if you gave this information, it says you're most famous for being Lori Tipton's fiance.
True.
And one of the 3 fathers of Wilder Tipton.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, so I can't have kids, and she wanted kids. So she approached a friend of mine, Lee Kyle, who I had been in a couple of plays with. And, just to be a donor. And she approached him, and he was like,
A donor
of sperm.
Sperm.
See,
Seminal fluid.
to make a
When a
baby,
man loves a woman very, very much.
yeah, it takes a sperm and an egg.
Okay. Just break it down for me. Break it down for me, please.
You know what I like? Because you're tatted up and you kind of got the rock and roll thing. I imagine when you said you can't have kids, I imagine it not as a medical thing, but as just like, I mean, I can't have kids, bro, so like...
I just can't.
No, it was a
Can't do
chainsaw
it,
accident.
man.
It was a chainsaw accident. No, I'm kidding. No, I had a vasectomy when I was like 30.
Really?
And,
Probably see Andrew's note from a minute ago. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I guess that's it, right.
Yeah, but,
Home volition.
this was actually, I think I was younger than that, which is funny because I've always heard this myth that if you're kind of young, like a doctor won't perform one on you. And I went in and I guess he's like, do you have any children? I was like, no. He's like, and how old are you? And I think I was, I had to be 30-something. I was like 30-something. He goes, okay, yeah, we'll do this. Just one look at me. He's like, you know what? Just, I don't know what your reasons are. I don't want to know. But don't have kids, dude.
In fact, he did it right there while you waited.
Yeah. Just, he did it with a dart. No.
Is it irreversible?
It's, you know what? They're not irreversible. But a vasectomy without insurance costs like $600.
Really?
Yeah, but a reversal is $6,000.
Right.
So I think it's actually kind of I think everybody should get one when they're 16.
Yeah.
And then if you can save up $6,000, you're ready to have kids.
That's a really good idea, Andy. In fact, it is kind of that thing. It's not that you can't have kids; it's just that you can't have kids, man.
It was kind of like that. So, but then later on, I'm with Lori, and she really wanted to do it, and she's headstrong. She's going to find a way.
Yeah.
And so she approached Lee Kyle, who's a dear friend of mine. I was in a couple of Nari Thomas Eddy's plays with him, and he's tall and he's handsome, and also extremely talented. So
Great.
she approached him, and he, being gay, has always wanted to be a dad.
Cool. Right.
And let me tell you, he was meant to be. I'm so glad that I got to be part of making Lee Kyle a father because he's an amazing father.
That's awesome.
This guy was born to raise kids.
Wait, so how old is this young child? How old is Wilder?
He's about to be 3.
Okay, turning 3.
Yeah. And he's going to be 3 in October. And so, yeah, she approached him, and he was like, not only do I want to be a donor, but I would love to actually co-parent. So it's the same, I guess it's the same business model as a divorce. Except that everybody loves each other from the start.
Takes a village.
Yeah, and so, he's 4 nights a week at our house, 4 nights a week at Daddy and Clint's house.
Nice.
And not 4 and 4. No, not
It's
any of you picked that up, huh?
Amazing system.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I was thinking ahead.
You see, there's 7 days in a week.
So look, there's a cliffhanger here because it says you are one of the 3 fathers. I want to hear about this other father, but I have to take care of some business first.
Yeah.
We need to introduce you to these other 2 voices. So, folks, with us today, as often is the case, we have Andrew Duhan. Why don't you just say a few words to
Yeah,
the
well,
folks?
I officially, they call me the co-host week by week, but frankly, I think usually it's more of I think Grant usually sails the ship, and I bail sometimes.
Nice.
But, this week, we'll see what the dynamic takes us. I think Rich is doing a great job so far, and just 4 dudes sitting around the table this time,
I know, it's an unusual dynamic.
Yeah, so this, it's going great so far. Feels
Cheers.
good. Cheers, yeah.
Now, speaking of 4 dudes, we need to introduce our 4th dude, George.
Yes.
Please, do the honors.
Yes, my name is George Elizondo, and I'm a singer-songwriter from Nicaragua, but I've been living here for 9 years now, since 07. So, yeah.
You timed it well. It's good you didn't come in 05.
Yeah. Well, when I came here in 07, it was still pretty noticeable, very noticeable, that's the destruction and everything there.
Now, what made you come and choose New Orleans?
Kind of like a hunch and recommendation from a friend who was also living in Nicaragua. UNO was scouting in Nicaragua, actually. They scout in Latin America, and a friend of mine came here, and he was like, "Hey, George, I think that you would love it here." And so I kind of just came here on a hunch because I'm a citizen. I'm a U.S. citizen, so I knew that I could come here with no problem.
You told me earlier you were born in Florida. Is that
Florida,
right?
yeah, Miami, where almost every other Latin American is in the U.S.
Well, I'm glad you found your way here. I mean, I was listening to your music earlier today, and it sounds awesome.
Thank you.
Andrew's an incredible musician.
Yes, indeed.
As well, and so
are you.
Well, thank you.
I heard a little bit of your singing.
Well, it's funny. Thank you for this setup. I'm going to do a little intro song. This works better. This is a song written for a woman, but I can repurpose this right now for you guys. Okay?
All right, let's hear it.
All right, dudes. It's about having a conversation. Let's take it back to where you started from. I'll give you that. You got my heart beating like a drum. Up on the roof, staring at the clouds, and we're never coming down. I'm next to you. Oh, we watch the stars come out. Stop the world and start a conversation with you. I won't spend my time. Here's an invitation for you. Hold on tight. You come a hurricane, watching the satellite fly on the plane. Somewhere down in Mexico, never coming back again, son. On the beach, I got my wayfarers on and the shell beneath my feet. Look at the sky, singing, oh my, my. Won't stop the world and start a conversation with you. I won't spend my time. Here's an invitation for you. We can watch all the cars drive by. Maybe count every star in the sky. Oh, stop the world, start a conversation with you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Let's start a conversation.
All right.
Absolutely.
So look, Andy, we got to get back to this. Who's the other father?
Oh, that would be Clint. That would be Lee's partner.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and they and it's so convenient. They're homeowners too, and they live pretty much like around the corner from us. I mean, not right on the same block, but they're real close.
What neighborhood are y'all in?
So we're all in the Upper Ninth Ward,
Oh, cool.
and yeah, it's great. You know, Wilder doesn't. He sees both houses as his houses. You know, he always says, "I'm lucky I own 2 houses."
You know what's interesting, Rich, is well, actually, I should pose this to Andy instead of Rich. You know what's interesting, Andy, is Rich actually plays in a band that Wilder might be into. Tell him about it, Rich.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made my living, been making my living since '02, off the idea. My friends and I here, living in Mid City, had created an indie band for parents and kids called Imagination Movers, and then in 2005ish, we right before the flood, we started negotiating with Disney and ended up creating a television show that was filmed here in New Orleans for 3 seasons, like 07 through 11. And so that show's been broadcast all over the world, translated into
Under the
25
same name?
Yeah, Imagination or Los Imaginadores.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
And we are, you can go on YouTube and see it translated into Japanese or German or anything. But yeah, so as a result of that project, I do a lot of traveling, playing shows at different events all over the world. I was excited. We found out we're getting to go back to we're doing a tour of playing for families on military bases in Asia, I think, coming up in the spring. And that we've done that 2 or 3 times, and we love it. It's so fun. You get to travel all over, go to a bunch of places, like quick, one after the other, eat all this great food, and see the world. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so that's what I obviously I'd be happy to hook you guys up with some Movers content.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Our most recent album is called License to Move, inspired by the Beastie Boys. It was we recorded it super fast in 2 days at a studio in the country. It was our 9th album, and it's funny, we did it. We had a blast doing it. It's a hard rock record. Like, I'm laughing because I was looking for some songs from that to use on this. We're working on another animated show project right now. I was like, that one's too loud. That one's too fast. That's going to scare them off. So there's like, of the 12 songs, like 4 of them are like, pretty chill, but a lot of them are super high energy. So we were in a mood when we did that one. But it's really fun.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
It's a lot of fun. But so, George, I want to hear. You want to do some music? I'd love to hear some music.
Yeah, sure. I'll do a song.
Do you need anything, any kind of setup or anything?
I may just be able to play into this one mic over here.
I'm going to be your guitar mic.
Oh, well, why? Thank you, Richard. It's Rich from Richard. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, Richard. All right, so this song is it's co-written. Me and my friend Josh Starkman wrote this song together. We're in a group called Nebula Rosa. And
is that here in New Orleans?
Yes, here in New Orleans.
Yeah, when and where can we see y'all?
Well, we're actually playing tonight as a duo in Casa Borrega.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. We actually got a residence there. We're playing every Wednesday from 7 to 10 p.m.
Casa. Do you know the address of Casa Borrega?
I don't know the exact number. I know it's on O.C. Haley.
Yeah, Aretha
Castle
Castle
Haley. Yeah.
I don't know what Hugo Montero sort of built that
Yeah.
piece by piece, tile by tile.
It's beautiful
It's so
inside.
cool.
Yeah, it's inside and outside. Yeah, the courtyard.
That courtyard.
A lot of people don't know about the courtyard, but it's a great place to hang out.
I think. Wait, you guys did it. That the first time I did a thing with Happy Hour. It was there.
Yep,
That's why I know.
Happy Hour was stationed at Casa Borrega before it
Really?
was at Wayfair. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do the 4 to 5 thing here, and Hugo starts to get pretty good business right around 4:30. So it's you start getting a little salsa verde everywhere, and it just so you gotta no, it's I appreciated Hugo immensely, and every time I stop there, I'm utterly disappointed if Hugo's not there.
Yeah.
Great guy.
Yeah, he
and
is.
A great spot, great food.
Yeah.
but,
Everyone who works there, you know.
Yeah.
My impression is that he sort of hid out there for a number of years and just did all that work, like, painstakingly. Like, it took him some years to do it.
Yeah.
It's really neat. It's an achievement.
Absolutely.
All right, rock out for us.
All right. The song is called I Know. Quite a long time ahead. Couldn't get out of bed. But the song that she sang wouldn't let out of my head. But the song that she sang, it wouldn't leave, not if I tried. And I could not understand how my mouth had gotten so dry. Tried to forget it all at once, easy as 1, 2, 3. I know, yes I know it. Oh yeah, I know, and she knows it, yeah. Voy a aprender que estoy aquí para decirlo todo hoy. Voy a aprender que estoy así al decidir que todo es hoy. Voy a aprender que estoy aquí para vivirlo todo. Whoops. Quite a long time ahead. You couldn't get out of a bed, but the song that she sang, it wouldn't let out of my lazy head. But the song that she sang, she wouldn't leave me, not if I tried, and I could not understand how my eyes had gotten so blind. Tried to forget it all at once, easy as 1, 2, and 3. I know, yes I know it. Oh yeah.
Right.
Yes, indeed.
Nice.
Thank you.
That was the shit.
George, I'm curious, what percentage of your songs are in Spanish or English?
Well, at first, whenever I first started writing songs, it was like 80% English and 20% Spanish, but now I think it's somewhere in between, 50-50 at this point, yeah.
So that one, you combine both, I see.
Yeah, I've been starting to do that. I've been starting to do that because, I don't know, it just comes that way, yeah.
Sounds nice. It's really nice. I like the arrangement. I like how it broke down and became something different in the middle.
Yeah, I wrote that. A lot of the chord progression, the entire chord progression is Josh Starkman's work. And then, we both molded the melody together and,
And what's his background?
His background? Mm-hmm. He is actually born in Miami. Raised in Miami.
You knew him before New Orleans?
I actually met him in New Orleans.
Wow.
Yeah, I met him in New Orleans, and we would see each other at parties and stuff. And then eventually he was like, "Hey, we should start a band together."
Nice.
And we did. Yeah.
What's the band called?
Just Nebula Rosa.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen you guys.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Andrew, I want to hear about all the cool stuff you got coming up. Where can we see you?
Well, this will be the last happy hour for a while. 'Cause heading on the road, heading up northeast. The coolest show that was on that run got canceled, but you know what it was? Opening for Leon Russell. That would have been the shit. Yeah. Oh well. He had to postpone his tour or something, so that one's not happening. But lots of cool shows up to New York and Connecticut world, and then back. So that'll be fun.
Great. That's October, basically.
Yep.
Late September?
Late September and October, and then got to come back for a buddy's bachelor party.
Okay.
Speaking of bachelor parties and tattoos, I had a question, Andy, because I thought it was kind of awesome and brilliant. Andy's pretty tatted, for those of you who aren't visually part of the conversation.
Yeah.
You have the kind of like the finger tattoo where you got letters on your fingers, right? But I've never seen the letters crossed out on the digits and then love. So what you have is one set of letters that are crossed out and then love underneath. So I wonder what's crossed out going on here.
Well, the most traditional hand tattoos, when you get your fingers tattooed, you get love and hate.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, that's just the old-fashioned finger tattoos. I mean, these days I see kids with, I had a buddy that has bookworm on his knuckles and stuff, and all kinds of creative, cool stuff.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good puzzle.
But this was the '90s when I got my hands tattooed, so it was just they're like, love and hate. That's what you get, you know. Right. And just this word. That's of all my tattoos. That's the only one that ever was like, ugh.
I love that.
I felt, and also eventually, like 10 years later, I ended up just. And putting X's over the HATE and just on the next set of knuckles, I just had love. So now my knuckles say love and love.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I felt guilty at a ticket booths, toll booths. I felt bad for toll booth operators because they can't see the right hand. They only see the left hand. They're stuck in that box all day taking people's money, and all they see. And I roll up and just hate with a dollar in my hand. I was like, man. And that was the first time I was like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't have done that one.
Poor toll booth folks, man. At least there aren't any on the West Bank. Is it a good job?
Well, I know in New York it is. I'm from upstate New York.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's a super coveted job.
$20 every time people get through.
They got a lot of tolls up there.
And they're pricey, Well,
there's the New York studio. I'm from a little town, population of 900 people, between Rochester and Syracuse called Phelps. Okay. And then there's I-90 that runs right through there. And the toll booth guys, if you're living up there, you get to know them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's they got their regular shifts. And
you fight for that lane, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I came over 10 lanes to see you, Bernie.
Being a typical Southerner, I drove into New York City about 6 weeks ago and forgot about tolls. And so it was $25 to get across the two. I was trying to get to Roosevelt Island, and it was $25. I literally had exactly $25 cash. They took my last penny.
Yeah, it's nothing like that up where I'm at.
Yeah, no, over that way.
I mean, I'm basically in southern Canada.
Right. Yeah.
I grew up.
Yeah.
Well, so when did you come to New Orleans?
2001. It was January 2001 that I left.
And what was your life change that brought you this way?
It was work related. I've been bartending since I turned 21, so I'm doing it 20 years now, and nothing. All right, fine, yeah. You look 41. Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
Where are you bartending?
But
and if you were a girl, I would have said it. Just so you know. It would have been like a reflex. I couldn't even stop it. 12. I can't believe it. Sorry, dude.
No, see how it is. No, currently, I'm at the Voodoo Lounge, located at 718 North Rampart, overlooking lovely Armstrong Park in the French Quarter.
Yeah.
you can come see me there. And yeah, I was 26 at the time, and you know what? Here's the thing is I was just getting to this age where I'm like I'm gonna bartend the rest of my life. I shouldn't be in some bodunk town, at some little dead-end bar. I'm going to go somewhere where there's a real service industry. The biggest difference between up there and down here is, when I bartended in upstate New York, people always said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And, like, down here, you could be a 50-year-old waiter, and they're like, you got a great career.
Yeah.
And it even, I don't know, it even makes its way into the politics. It seems like the service industry has much more of a voice here because we're a huge part of the tax base.
Yeah. Also with cocktail culture, booming right now.
That's so new. Like when I started, it was like kamikazes and Alabama Slammers.
Right.
I remember flavored vodka coming in. I mean, like, what? Orange flavored vodka? Just put orange juice in it. And like, we're all angry about, Stolio and stuff.
What's the most common drink at the Voodoo Lounge?
At the Voodoo Lounge? Well,
Budweiser?
No. Actually, the most common thing is what we call French Quarter handcuffs.
Yeah.
And that's just slang for a Miller High Life and a shot of James.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody...
Yeah.
But we have an amazing Scotch selection for a little hole in the wall bar.
Yeah.
Have over, I think we got like 36 different Scotches.
Wow.
Wonderful Scotch selection, whiskey selection,
wow.
And the thing about that place is just everybody's so cool and laid back that works there and also that come in there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is essential for someone to have in their character to be an excellent bartender?
Love.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta. I mean, to be an excellent bartender, you gotta love people at their worst.
Nice.
To be. I know that sounds really corny.
No, it's awesome.
You weren't expecting that one.
You're
but
too tatted for it to
I was going to
sound
say patient, but that falls under love.
It's
being patient.
Yeah, it's actually having genuine, love for the human condition and
Right.
because you see people at their worst.
Yeah.
And talk about getting ready for having a toddler. I mean, I've been dealing with a toddler is just like a stripper that just got off work at 4 a.m. that's high on cocaine.
Jim Gaffigan's got a great routine about basically people in bars are like little babies.
Absolutely.
I want to stand here.
He took my seat.
Right, all that stuff. Well, I have to say, I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen, but I spent an hour probably today looking at Andy's video work. You did some incredible work that you can see it on YouTube. And I'm curious to know how this began, and hopefully there'll be more coming. But you were doing these Christmas videos for Flanagan's,
yeah,
and then some other stuff.
Yeah, I worked at Flanagan's Pub for 13 years, and it just, I mean, as corny and goofy and weird as the Christmas specials are, really they came from the heart. Like the first time that I did one, I was living with my buddy JT in this warehouse, and where we were working on a race car, and actually there's a whole movie out about that called Salt Dreams, a full length documentary film that we made, and I did the soundtrack for. Okay. About us taking a flooded out Katrina car, taking it out to the Bonneville Salt Flats and racing it.
Where can you see that? Where can you see it?
If you just YouTube Salt Dreams,
all right,
or go to BeanvilleStudios.com.
Okay.
And so I had a recording studio like in my bedroom, just a hacky kind of studio, and there was this group called the Noisician Coalition.
Yes, I saw them.
Bunch of wacky guys. It was started by Matt Vaughn. Bunch of wacky guys that look like they're out of a Dr. Seuss book with these crazy Kuzma-wats that make all kinds of noise. And I just kind of like almost came out of a dream in the middle of the night and was like, I need to share my Christmas spirit with the world.
So do you truly are you a Christmassy guy? Is that I mean, okay, yeah, fair enough. We've got tattoos to prove it.
What is that?
He's got a holly.
I got holly on.
Oh, I
the
see,
neck.
I
it's
see, I
nice
see.
on both
So you're not
sides.
just acting in those videos. You
Yeah.
truly do have. You're
And
Papa Noel.
It's under the beard, but I have like up on my throat. I have a poinsettia.
So does Santa, I think. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
That's killer.
Yeah, I'm young Santa.
He's got hate and hate on both knuckles, though. It's weird.
Well, he's stressed out.
You would never
the
expect
whole
it.
world, one night. Come on.
So you
yeah.
made these unbelievable pieces of performance art, is what you did.
Yeah, the first one literally was like woke up in the middle of the night, opened up whatever that recording program was that I used to have, and started recording. And I think 72 hours later, it was on YouTube. The first one that was real corny with me in the with
But
me
you
in
made the
that.
video and everything, then right,
Video,
right on the heels
I
of it.
recorded it like
Wait,
one day.
How do I find this video?
Search Flanagan's Christmas Special.
Flanagan's Christmas Special.
Okay.
Or Andy Overslaw. How do you say it? Overslaw?
Overslaw. That's OVERSLAUGH.
Yeah. So you can search. That's how I found it.
All
Yeah.
right.
Once you find it, though, it's a.
It's a rabbit hole. Because then we made I think 4 Christmas specials total. The last one ending with a clip show,
Loved it.
which was just so much. Yeah, very Tim and Eric.
Andy, have you seen like Tim and Eric?
Happy
the whole
Crimbus.
Tim and Eric
Merry
comedy
Crimbus.
thing.
No.
It's very similar into absurd and very public access.
Yeah. When you're watching Tim and Eric, you're like, when you just feel like you've been had when you get to the end of the 20 minutes.
Right.
It's a brilliant kind of form of comedy. But we recorded some cool Christmas songs and the reason the last one was a Christmas show is because I didn't have my recording studio anymore.
Oh, the clip show. You mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I had just gotten back from the Appalachian Trail. I hiked the entire Appalachian Trail in 2010.
Oh, wow.
And before I did it, I got rid of all my recording equipment and stuff. And I came back and I was like, well, I don't have a song. And literally at the end of that video, my buddy Zircon Stash Cream walks in and he's like, I got your Christmas song right here. And he literally came from his house, like did that thing up on GarageBand.
Did it.
And the end credits is an original Christmas song
Nice.
by
That's great.
my buddy Zircon.
Zircon Stash Cream.
Yeah.
At the nick of time.
So now I'm hoping we can figure out a way to get you to sing a little bit today, since all 4 of us will have performed on this hour. We'll have to figure this out. Maybe a Christmas song.
Do it.
Everyone's looking at him.
I sing like an angel.
So I'm guessing there's a video where it's a bunch of dudes like playing along. Is that all you just playing all the parts though, really?
Somewhat, pretty much. You know,
I mean-
I would have the Noisician Coalition come in and just bang on a bunch of stuff, and then they would leave, and they'd leave their instruments and everything. No, I would get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, put it all together. I mean, when you're dealing with those whoosmawats and these crazy noisemakers, you're basically just cutting and pasting and creating.
Got to make
the
a groove
music.
out of it or something.
Yeah, and then everything else is me, and you know, any other vocals, I would bring people in, and you know, the one where we're all singing, all taking turns singing.
Yes.
That's all of us. They all came over to my house and recorded
Doing
it.
the weird video.
All the choreographed. That was so much fun.
I think the reason I like this so much, and I was telling you this before we went on the air,
Yeah.
is that it reminds me a lot of Movers. There's more tattoos. But other than that, I mean, it's basically how we made every song and all the videos. The Movers, actually, we had like 3 really good original Christmas songs we made videos for, out like for the show. And the best one was they had the Hot 8 brass band came and added just a whole layer of good New Orleans flavor. And they were in the video and the whole bit. I mean, like we came out and spent a day shooting a music video with them, like in our big bright kids.
Oh yeah,
Your primary colors. Yes, we're in the coveralls, lights, everything's all bright and primary colors, and I got the Hot 8 brass band all day. It was great.
That must have been a blast.
Oh, we had so much fun. That was some of the chance to get New Orleans guys into the show was one of the best parts. In fact, I was seeing a thing the other night where I was watching Stanton Moore, the drummer, play this week, and I had a recollection that Stanton actually played on a Mover song. I'm not even sure he remembers, but he was visiting set one day with his daughter. And he just sat down we had like an electronic kit that we used to record stuff, and he sat down and added a bunch of awesome fills to a song, a classic called Robot Chase Song. So, one of Stanton Moore's credits, whether he likes it or not. So Andrew,
Yep.
you want to play some music? Want to get ready?
I can play you a song. Can I ask you about your guitar real quick?
Yeah.
What kind of guitar is it?
I have a. It's funny. I was actually just. Do y'all know Kevin Speck, the guitar tech here in town?
I've heard of him.
He's over on like by the Bayou, but he does a lot of people's stuff. Anyway, I was visiting with him this week because I'm trying to improve my acoustic guitar sound through a PA, and so we were actually analyzing my guitar. But it's a Cole Clark. It's an Australian company.
So I think. Did you get a deal from them of any sort?
Absolutely.
That's interesting because I recognized it from a buddy of mine has one. I think he's a musician in Mobile. I know he's a musician in Mobile.
You got a hookup?
But I think it's a Cole Clark. Yeah. So apparently something like word to the wise. If you have so many Facebook followers, they'll really hook you up. Because, not many people have heard of this guitar company.
Right.
So if you play in front of enough people, they'll give you a deal.
Well,
Good
Cole,
to know.
Cole Clark is famed for, they've got some, and I've forgotten all the details, some great pickup technology.
Okay.
That it's two different mics combined, a bridge and something else, maybe whatever that other part is.
Yeah.
And so it does sound great, but this is probably 10 years old. Our lawyer, way back in the early days of Movers, had a Cole Clark rep that did that same deal. But anyhow, yes. Yeah, it's very good guitar.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it sounds great.
I have a problem of breaking things. That's my reputation in my group. And so I had a beautiful Taylor guitar that about, 4 years ago when we were on a bigger tour, when we had like guitar techs and all this stuff, I turned Bruce Springsteen style and threw my guitar to the guitar tech, and I forgot that there was like a heavy mic pack on it, like a wireless receiver. So I misjudged, and it went about 3 feet and crashed into a million pieces on stage in front of all the people.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was mic'd, so it was like a huge, horrible noise. Yeah.
Well, that's hard to replicate.
I did that.
I hope you got it recorded.
Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhere.
I used to play in a band called the Villains back when I lived in upstate New York. They were a rockabilly band in the 90s.
Nice.
So just instant sensation because that was just hot at the time.
Oh, nice.
I played upright bass, and I would smash my bass every show.
Oh, like
I literally
Every show?
Damage it.
every show. No, smash it. I had 2 basses, and one for Friday night, one for Saturday.
that seems
night.
impractical.
How does that work?
Elmer's wood glue.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you can. I mean, if in the mayhem of the show it didn't break into at the last song, I would always just grab the neck and just pop the neck right off the thing, and then
That's badass.
It was. I mean, you've seen people smash guitars on
Yeah,
stage.
but not upright
Imagine
bass.
a guy smashing an upright bass on stage. It's a hit.
I'm shocked just hearing you describe it 20 years later.
And then you just throw it back together with Elmer's wood glue, and it's close enough for rock and roll.
Wow. So you had a plan. That's why you could do it.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
knew you could make it work.
Well, and I had this Cadillac at the time. I had a 1980 Cadillac Coupe de Ville, and I had to get to the show. I'd put the bass in the back seat with the passenger seat forward.
Right.
And then so if somebody rode with me, they'd have to sit in the back seat
Yep.
with the neck in front of their face. But then on the ride home every show, I could just throw the thing in the trunk because I would always be leaving the show with the bass in 2 pieces.
Oh, yeah. It folds up.
Yeah, and if you walk up at the end of a show and you see a guy walking out with an upright bass broken too, you're like, I just missed the best show ever. I'm like, don't worry, I'll do it again tomorrow night.
Right.
I would think if you saw that, the upright bass, and 2, you would think the bass player was in tears, just devastated.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, another day at work, no big deal.
That's
Impressive.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're technically our only guest today. So
Oh, really?
Because we actually had another Blaze. We had another guest that was scheduled that maybe we'll wander in at some point. And then George is our musical guest, and Andrew's our co-host. And so I'm going to hit you with a couple more questions, if that's okay.
It's just it's a slow happy hour today. Sometimes people come in and get a drink. By the way,
Do you want? Would you like another drink?
I actually was just thinking I was going to have another drink.
You guys read each
And
other's minds.
by the way, it's
Eyes.
perfect timing because executive producer Graham DePonte just showed up, so she might be able to help us out to get a drink. I'll have a green flash if you don't mind. Yeah, please.
I'll have the same as this gentleman right here.
You want to be our guest?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Let me be the
Oh,
waiter
yeah,
first.
wonderful.
What do I got?
Green flash sounds great to me.
I'll do the same.
I'm good. I already subtly
I'll get the
gestured.
40 Arpent that they got.
What?
40 Arpent.
Got it. I'll be
What's
back.
that? Tell us, bartender.
That's a brewery that's actually kind of close to my house. They're in
Oh, no
Araby.
shit.
Yeah. So right on the other side of the parish line.
Wait a minute. Wait. What's it called?
40 Arpent.
It's close.
It's in Araby.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's a local brewery I'd never heard of. Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard of them before either.
I'm sure there's another 20 you haven't heard of. There's so many local breweries now.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it is great.
My buddy was in a band called here in New Orleans 20 years ago called 80 Arpent. Arpent is some sort of.
I don't even know what an arpent
it's
is.
like it's some kind of like real.
Yeah,
it's
I don't know.
like real estate or like old fashioned term for like land or something.
Okay.
Maybe someone out there in the internet world will know. But actually, it's good. It's good that we have you as our sole guest because you're interesting enough, and you've got lots and lots of interesting details. For instance, can you please explain your wrestling history?
Oh, Jesus.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of
It's like having 5 guests in one.
It is. I've done a little bit of everything, but never gotten good at any of them. Now so actually back when I was living in upstate New York, I was in the band The Villains, and also at the same time I was an indie pro wrestler up there. There was a little wrestling school called Suplex U, and I'm not talking about like the sport that's in the Olympics. I'm talking about the performance that you see on Monday nights from WWE or WCW or whatever.
Sweet.
This is pro wrestling, backflips and hiding a razor blade in your underwear.
Yeah.
And
Wait, what? Did you do that? Is that a thing?
yeah, that's a thing.
Is it a thing?
Yeah, like when I don't know if you ever watch any pro wrestling, but a guy gets hit in the chair and then all of a sudden he's bleeding out of his head like crazy. Yeah, he's hiding a razor blade in his underwear, and you just kind of cut yourself.
I thought you were going to say a
bit.
ketchup packet. It's actual.
No, it's you just kind of give yourself a little cut on the forehead, and you gush all over the place. Let's see this little white spot right here?
Yes, I do.
That's a permanent scar from a barbed wire match.
Nice, man.
So
what now?
a match,
barbed wire.
a barbed wire match.
This is kind of I feel like
It was a late night. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just a segue, not even a segue. Keep going. But what I would say is, you're a bartender. You listen to stories all the time, and now you're telling all of your stories, which are more interesting than the stories you usually probably hear.
They got to be.
Not at all. Everybody's story.
Well, anyway, continue.
I'm going to ask you a question, and you're not allowed to answer with love.
All right.
And the question is, and unless that truly is the answer, what are the characteristics that make someone an excellent wrestler?
Intimacy. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding. You know what makes you? I guess the one thing that it takes to be. Thank you so much. The one thing that it takes to be a professional wrestler.
Cheers.
I, in my opinion, I mean, I did it for a couple of years on the indie level.
Right.
So that's kind of like being in a punk rock band where you play bars. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, just to explain a little bit, like there's pop music where there's touring bands that put out albums, and are on big labels, and then there's bands that just, might cut a tape in their own house and play bars. Well, pro wrestling's the same way. There's these kind of bush leagues, these indie leagues, all over the country. There's hundreds of them. And I happen to be in one in upstate New York. And
did you ever have it in your mind to get to the big leagues of wrestling?
Not
like WWF
me.
Or
you know
WCW?
what? Not me. That's it's part of my personality and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I wasn't shooting for something big.
Right.
I was like,
It was fun.
I like being the hometown hero. I felt like I was making it just being in the ring. I don't care if it's a crowd of 1,000 or 1,500 as opposed to a big arena. I never had the desire to do a big arena.
Right.
Same with being in indie rock bands and stuff. I'd rather be playing in a bar for 50 people than be playing at the Superdome or whatever. And but the question of what it takes to be good at it, I think, is just to be able to have a cool head in this crazy violent situation.
Right.
Right. And I mean, it's not truly violent because no one's trying to hurt each other.
Somewhere between stuntman and a real fight, yeah.
It's like kind of like being a stuntman, and you got to like fall, 15 feet out of the ring to the floor, and you have half a concussion, and you kind of pass out for a second. You wake up, and there's a big crowd of people and yelling, and you got to like, okay, now I have to do this. So I guess being able to keep a cool head and really be a team player. I mean, because pro wrestlers are, they're really looking out for each other in all that mayhem that's going on. And I got to say, when I did it, I really loved all the guys that I got to do it with.
So you're fighting like for the spectators, but really it's like a partnership. It's a collaboration.
Oh yeah. There was one guy. His name was Ian, and his wrestling name was Dick Nasty. And we had a bunch of matches
I think
together.
I saw him in Austin. Yeah, there was a wrestling match in Austin. I think there was a Dick Nasty.
I hope he's still doing it. He was such a great guy. We did a bunch of crazy matches with barbed wire and hardcore. It was the 90s, so that stuff was popular.
Maybe not.
He doesn't look 41 at all.
He had a son or something.
Yeah.
There was another Dick Nasty.
But yeah, and we would beat the dickens out of each other, and we were actually really super, super close friends. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of true that if you get cold cocked or something, and then you hear, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean it. It never hurts as bad." You know, you actually accidentally get elbowed in the face, or if somebody actually elbows in your face, like "Take that, motherfucker."
Yeah.
You know?
Well, my one little gimmick, wrestling fans, the internet was kind of coming around at that point.
Yeah.
It was like the beginning of the internet. So wrestling fans were smart. They didn't. I mean, you play some of these county fairs, you do have people that think it's real and everything. But the fans are smart. But what's gonna make them excited, especially if there's somebody I was gonna wrestle like several times coming up over the next few months, like Ian, I would throw him out of the ring, get him right up against the people in the seats. And I would call him by his real name and be like, "Fuck you, Ian, I'm sick of this." And I'd just punch him as hard as I can in the face. And then, walk out in the middle of the match and grab somebody and be like, "Push me back out there. Just get me back out there." And then people would think, "Oh, the characters don't just hate each other. They hate each other in real life."
Yeah.
A whole other level of theatrics.
It's like an onion.
Yeah, you peel back a layer, but it was more deception.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
Same
And more
amount of tears.
tears.
Yeah.
We got each other.
I got you, babe.
You guys are really, really connected right now.
Yeah, we are.
So, have you guys ever gone to the Renaissance Festival?
Oh, yeah.
Once I did go.
Up on the North Shore or whatever, but the jousting, it always reminds me like the guys are like beating the crap out of each other.
It's the same thing. Jousting is the same thing. I had a regular customer down here for a while who was a jouster, and we would exchange stories, and it's pretty much. I have huge admiration for jousters.
Those guys, that's
Yeah, actually,
that's
I
definitely the best part.
played a show at a Renaissance Festival with a Motown band. Did not make any sense at all.
Did you say Motown?
Motown band.
Nice.
I was playing bass for a Motown band
My girl.
at the Renaissance Festival.
My girl.
No one was there. There was like one person in the crowd. Yeah.
Dang.
I ate a big turkey leg afterwards.
I'd say all I picture is
As
turkey
long as you got
legs.
that turkey
Good,
leg.
man. Good to go.
Hey, Graham.
Yes, hey, I'm back.
Hey, Graham. Good to see you.
Hey,
Hey.
Graham.
Drinks are good?
I didn't see you
Hey,
there.
Graham.
Wow.
I have two things I want to say to you. I have a statement and I have a question.
All right, got it.
A statement is, I was telling these guys earlier, I'm having a rehearsal this Friday with a bass player and a drummer, and they're both named Graham.
No, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're both male, though, right?
They are.
Yeah.
But if you want, do you play music at all?
Only in my mind.
Because if you came to this rehearsal, it would be awesome.
Oh, that would be cool.
So I would just
I'll
say
come.
Graham over and over again.
I'll
and
come.
never-
I'll come watch. I can be your audience.
And my second second words I need to exchange with you are a question, which is, should I be reading sponsor messages?
Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, let's do
I
it.
don't know.
Let's do the sponsors. Who wants to do the background music?
Why don't we have a little background music played while
George,
we
could you
read
play some beautiful
sponsors?
music on your nylon string guitar while I
Sure.
read sponsors?
Something real pretty.
Something real pretty. Just like this.
Andrew, would you like to read some of these messages as well? I'll read the
I'd
first.
be happy
Are we
to.
doing all these at once?
Yeah.
All right. This is the sponsor segment of our show.
I love copy. I love this.
I'm going to copy, guys. The other day when I did this show, I don't know who it was, someone told me that I read the copy better later, and it was when I paid attention to when I looked at the sheet instead of at you guys.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I don't know who told me that, and that may or may not be true, but I'm going to look at the sheet now. Our happy hour sponsors today include Uber. You may have heard of them. If you find yourselves a few drinks in and needing a ride home, Uber is the smartphone app that connects you with a ride at the tap of a button. Uber is safe, easy, and reliable. Request a ride at any time, and a car comes directly to you. Your driver knows exactly where to go, and payment is completely cashless. Wherever you're headed, count on Uber for a ride. No reservations are needed. That music's making me so relaxed right now. If you've never tried Uber before, or if, say, like me, your wife has it on her phone but you don't, download the app and you enter Happy Hour NOLA in the promotions section of the app. You will get a free first ride for $20. And when I saw that today, I said, I'm going to do that because that's a free Uber ride. We've got some more sponsors. Andrew's going to tell you about them.
Well, let's see what we got here, Rich. Looks like we're also sponsored by Basics Swim and Gym. Full range of fashion swimsuits, workout, and yoga clothes with style. Bikinis, my personal favorite. One piece, cover up. Everything you need for beach and poolside is at Basics Swim and Gym, right across from the lingerie store, Basics Underneath on Magazine Street near Jefferson Avenue. Can I ask you, Graham, is it okay? It's got to be okay, right, for the guys to be in Victoria's Secret, but what do you have to be doing in Victoria's Secret to convince other women that you're there buying lingerie for your girl and not a creepster?
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can't.
You just...
I think you're a creep.
Andy's got this.
I think the least creepy thing that a man can do in Victoria's Secret is buy lingerie for himself.
Okay, very nice.
Well said.
With confidence and just he accepts himself and he knows himself. He's like, I know that I'm a woman size 16 and I would like to try on some brasiers.
Well, of course.
And all judgment's going to drop.
And
try it.
I'm only using Victoria's Secret, which is not a sponsor, as the common thing in our head. But really, where we should be going is Basics Underneath to buy lingerie for ourselves.
I could make a personal testimonial.
Oh, all right.
For more than 10 years, every July I go to Basics Underneath and I purchase a pair of underpants for my wife.
Oh,
it's our tradition.
That's nice.
And I know
That's
Desiree
nice.
and Peggy and Peggy are both run the store, and they're lovely, lovely people. And in fact, one year I couldn't get to the store in time, and so a representative from the store delivered the underpants.
Wow.
To my house.
Can I just break in for a second? Rich, does your wife call them underpants as well?
No. But the reason I'm saying underpants is I'm demonstrating what I do. I try and when I go to Basics, instead of drooling, I say things like underpants to make it kind of ironic, like an ironic posture.
Which
I don't notice that these are unbelievably hot pieces of clothing on gorgeous models, and it's.
No. I'm just going to tell you sound creepy.
Oh, great. That's been my technique for 10 years.
Actually, the music behind that story made that story sound so
But for the
creepy.
record, you said Andrew was creepy, too.
I'm pretty sure we can make it creepy.
George and Andy, if Graham calls y'all creepy by the end of this conversation, we know we're just creepy. Maybe the fact that there's 4 dudes around this table and just one lovely woman, that's why we're coming up creepy.
And we're all talking about underwear.
Thank
you, Basics Underneath.
Yeah.
That's what I love about copy.
All right, we have one more sponsor. George, would you? By Hangover Destroyer, the only all-natural product medically proven to prevent a hangover. Go to Hangover Destroyer website, hdestroyer.com, write happy hour on the coupon code, and get 30% off Hangover Destroyer and seize the dawn. That's all our sponsors, y'all. We can talk amongst ourselves as we have done previously.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful dual sponsor music.
Really nice,
Hangover Destroyer, you're going to feel good.
I spent about 5 years writing that one.
Copy music. You know what you call that song, Graham? It's called Underpants.
Can I ask about the Basics, actually, for you guys who have been there? Is it actually basic, or is it kind of like the American Apparel vibe, where a lot of it tends to be, sexy in its clean line thing, but basic in its aesthetic? Or is that just a name?
I don't know if basics implies simple utilitarian. It's everything.
Yeah, okay.
It's a really good store, though.
Yeah.
Never been.
Yeah. Well,
it's good.
It seems it seems I'm a friend of a friend. I know, I haven't been in there, but people vouch, and seems, and then again, there I am, the guy who questions the idea of going in there, and what am I going to do in there? I don't know, buy something for myself maybe, but it's not males. There is no male things.
Well,
in
there's
there.
Under Armour. Oh, you mean there at Basics?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
But hey, so look, I'm getting my Andys and Andrews confused. But Andy, when I was researching you today, and right before I got lost in the rabbit hole of the Flanagan's Christmas videos, I saw you had made a joke about how you were best known for being Lori's partner, fiance. When are y'all's nuptials?
Like a year and a half. We're going to do it in December of 2017.
Nice.
So
Here in the city?
Yeah. We're going to do it at One Eye Jack's.
Nice,
That's
man.
cool.
Nice.
And
It's a great
yeah, she proposed to me on February 29th.
Oh,
She did
cool.
that old tradition of
that's
Leap
cool.
day.
yeah.
When was
leap
our
day.
last? When was our last February 29th? Was it this past year?
This last
Just
one,
happened.
yeah.
Cool.
And, yeah, she beat me to the punch. But it's a tradition that actually is based. Not that I'm 100% sure. I think it's based in Irish law. It's not still a law, but it was a law that on February 29th, a woman could propose to a man, and if he said no, he had to like buy her a silk dress or something like
That's
that.
cool.
Huh.
I like it. Is there
Yeah.
a roll? I feel like a rolling pin's involved and really big forearms. I don't know. I see a very, very strapping woman handling this situation.
Well, that's. I'm excited for your nuptials. Congrats in advance.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. Yeah, we'll have a great wedding. Y'all,
Will there be a music component?
Yeah, it's going to be. It's actually going to be a lot like a show. There's going to be a lot of like drag and burlesque. We're kind of planning it. I mean, we're doing it One Eye Jacks on the stage. And
Nice.
we're kind of putting it together like you would a play.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I even have a whole like set in my head of how to do it, and
I saw a Rory Danger show there where they had a whole like screen behind them, like a big. I guess it was LED. I don't know. It was incredible. It had like. That's a good effect.
Oh, yeah.
If your wedding budget
We're-
can afford it.
no, we're not going to do no screens. But I have this one. I'd have to draw it out, and you don't want to. I don't want to bore you with it. But yeah, we're going to have all our friends perform. Basically, we're going to come out. And then we'll be sitting on the stage in a couple of like thrones, and all our friends are going to come out and perform for us.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, because we got so many, you know.
It's like a roast, except nobody can say anything bad about it.
Yeah, it's like a roast in reverse.
A roast wedding would be fun. Actually.
That actually would be fun.
Yeah, it's kinda fun.
You should think about that.
Think about it.
Gears turning. But so when I was looking up Lori, and I saw she has a blog.
Yes, Sluts Unlimited.
And right, and I saw it was a sad post about. Does she still work at Ace Hotel?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
About a colleague that had. Well, there was two. She lost two colleagues.
One
Right.
weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Wow.
But anyhow, so I saw that post. I was reading a lot of her writing. It was very thoughtful. It made me think of a song. I was thinking about playing a little bit of that song right now for you. If that's all right.
Please do.
I'd
Please
rather
do,
you
man.
not, Rich.
Andrew, I need your help because it's a finger picky. I need your mic.
Oh yeah.
But this is a song just about the frequency with which you have to hear about sad things happening in our city. Somebody's mother, she is crying on the corner. Her dreams are lying on the ground. A trail of blood from one street to another. See it every day in this our town. Wouldn't you know? You can read all about it. Now the mayor's handing contracts, all his crooked partners. You read about it on the front page. Think that maybe we will drag him out from under. And somebody gonna take his place. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody home? Gonna figure it out. Anybody know what I'm talking about? It's just the news of the day. Hey, yeah, yeah. Read all about it. Yeah. Read all about it. Where did you go and what did you give? Who do you love and who do you miss? Something we lost and will never be found. I said it's something we lost and will never be found. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? And we're stuck in the middle of it. We can't get out. And anybody know what I'm talking about? It's just the news of the day. Hey, yeah, yeah. You real about it. You gotta keep your head down. Last night while you were sleeping, some kid was shooting into a crowd. Oh no, anybody know just what I'm talking about? Stuck in the middle and can't get out. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Just the news of the day. Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh no, anybody know what I'm talking about? Anybody know what I'm talking about? Oh, stuck in the middle and we can't get out. News of the day, news of the day, news of the day, yeah. I went serious.
Wow, that's an amazing song. It really, and let me tell you, I don't know if you know, Rich, I'm a criminal defense attorney in addition to doing this.
I knew, but I forgot.
Wow, that song.
You don't make all your money off this?
But that song kind of speaks to kind of my the word I'm looking for. It's a kind of a push-pull with what I do because business is good, which is not so great.
Right.
That's just a beautiful
That's
song.
a song you should write, Graham. Business is good, which is not so great. That's nice.
I can do that.
That is a good song.
I feel bad because those lyrics are not brand new, and so there's a mayor. The whole mayor verse is not really about any particular mayor.
But no mayor can.
Right. It's mayors in general.
Yeah, no mayor can deal with what's.
You step in front of the target. When you get elected.
Right. Mitch and I both went to Catholic University in Washington, D.C. He's a few years ahead of me, but he's a music theater guy, by the way. Do y'all know that?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
He's an excellent singer.
Yep.
Yes. So my cousin, who probably, I don't know, Mitch is probably...
Mitch is about 55, 6, 7?
Not a decade older, but a little bit older. I have a cousin who was there with him at the same time. They did plays together. And anyway, so yeah, I always liked that connection. But anyhow, yeah, so I saw that post. It was really beautiful what she wrote. It was really sad.
What was it?
She's an amazing writer.
What happened at the
story.
Ace?
One of her dear friends just passed away. I remember it was a Monday night, and we were actually supposed to meet her out, and she's not returning my texts or anything. And then the next day, found out that due to complications with her pregnancy, she passed away.
Oh no! Jeez, that still happens.
And it's one of those, one in a million situations. And then also in the same weekend, another coworker of hers was I believe shot and killed.
Oh my
It's so
God!
sad.
Well, topical.
Yeah.
It's anyway. So she's there. She's working.
Oh yeah, she's still at the Ace. Yeah, and she wrote a very heartfelt piece, and
It was really nice.
it was she's an excellent writer.
I want to check out her blog. It's where can we find it? Do you know? Rich, do you know?
I just Googled her name.
Yeah, I just Googled Lori, Lori.
Or
Tipton.
direct listeners to the New Orleans Happy Hour podcast
There you go.
archives and
she was
listen
on
to
here.
the episode "My Shallow Vagina."
Yeah, that was
Very
a great
featuring
episode.
Lori Tipton, and she'll tell you all about it.
She's one of my
It's slutsunlimited.me,
What is it?
I believe. She's gonna kill
It's
me.
all right. We'll check. We'll
Slutsunlimited dot something.
Yeah, I think it's slutsunlimited.me. I think is what it is. I think.
I bet you if you Googled Sluts Unlimited, you're going to find it.
You'll probably will.
Whatever.
You'll find a few Sluts Unlimited.
Yeah, that's a. It's like
But
don't do an image search. You know.
I will say this: that I had, totally, that's completely changing channels. I just had a really great experience at the Ace. So, my wife and I have 5 kids. I live uptown. We do a lot of kid life, and but my mother-in-law gave us a gift, and we went down to the Ace Hotel last Tuesday, stayed overnight, just partied our brains out for 24 hours. It was great.
It's such a great place.
They've got like 3 restaurants in there, and then they're like 5 bars. Your room is a bar.
Wait, what?
Yeah, your room is great. You get a
Every room
turntable
has
in
a
your
bar?
room.
The rooms are completely stocked with all these like sort of half bottles of
Mini
all
bar.
these great.
Oh, yeah.
But no,
Yeah.
like not little
But-
minis, like you spend $25, you get like
and a cocktail
a half a
recipe
thing of
book.
Absolute. Yeah.
God,
And like
that's great.
They got a
selection
giant
of
fridge.
bitters
The
and-
fridge is. Oh, you open up the fridge
That
and you
cool
have six.
vintage looking fridge.
I am
Bitters
yet
and
to
everything.
go. Yeah.
Jesus.
It is
Oh,
fun,
yeah.
y'all. It is so fun.
And the lobby bar is a blast. They also have a venue in there. And then there's Josephine Estelle, the restaurant,
Yep,
which
yep.
is another great bar. There's a bar on the roof. And then you got Seaworthy
Yep.
to have some great Erstas.
So I'm the producer and I'm a guest today, but usually guests are people that I book, and I met your soon-to-be wife, Lori, at the lobby bar, and she made such an impression on me. I asked her to be on the show on the spot. She's really great. You're very lucky.
I
And
am.
Wilder is very lucky.
Oh, yeah. Wilder's a blast.
And as producer, you guys, I hate to do this.
happened? Oh, come on.
We gotta wind it down. I'm
We're
sorry.
wrapping it
That's
up.
it.
Wrap it up, guys.
An
It's been
hour?
so fun. Oh, it's been a little more than an hour.
A little more
Here's
than
an
that.
hour. Do I have to read all this stuff?
Yeah. So let's let Rich
Yeah.
get to it.
I thought winding down meant we
All
could
right.
skip all the stuff we had to read. Well, why don't we share it? Does everyone want to read a little bit?
Sure, pass it around.
All right, we'll go clockwise. Y'all, thanks for listening to the Happy Hour, the mostly all dude happy hour. Thank you, Graham, so much.
Thanks for the estrogen, Graham.
Who's around the table? Who was here? We have
George
Elizondo.
Elizondo, that's right.
We have Andy Overslaw,
Yes.
Andrew Duhan, and thank you so much, Rich Collins.
And Graham DePonte.
And that would be
Thank
me.
you, Graham. So our producer is Graham DePonte. Music director is Christian Unruh. Is it Unruh is how you say his name?
Nailed it.
Don't say Christian West. Christian Unruh. Technical director, Thomas Walsh. Live feed directors are Asher Griffith and Grayson Jernigan. The theme music was written by and is being played currently by Mitch Foreman, who helped me a lot recently with, we had an email exchange. If you'd like to be on the show, drop us a line. Our address is on our website. Check out our other happy hours and other shows. These include Out to Lunch with Peter Raschuti, live at Commander's Palace. True to the Game with Chris True. Midnight Menu Plus One with Margot Moss and the Man Who Ate New Orleans, Ray Canada. Louisiana Eats with Poppy Tooker. And Milo's Music Parlor with Kim Vu. And the podcast about death called Death the Podcast with psychologist Dr. Arian Elfont. Question from the waiting room with psychiatrist Nick Pagio and psych ward with Dr. Ross Shields. We got more.
You can also find other great Louisiana podcasts at itsacadiana.com and itsbatonrouge.la. Keep up with us on Facebook, Twitter, and a bunch of other time-sucking social media.
You can find photos from the show on itsneworleans.com and our Facebook page. Photos today are taken today by Ari. Thank you. Filling in for Allison Moon.
Thank
If
you,
you listen
Ari.
to
Way
this
to
on
go,
your
Ari.
podcast app, thanks for subscribing. And if you would take a minute to rate us,
Or
that
like
will
us on-
like us and rate us. That'll help other people
That's
find
a great
us.
thing. Yeah, it's a good thing to do.
And
Thanks a lot for listening.
On iTunes.com or wherever you get
wherever
your...
you get your podcast, recorded live today at Wayfair on Front Street in Uptown New Orleans. Happy hours of production of INO Broadcasting. FritzNewOrleans.com for Grant Morris, who will be back next week. For Andrew Duhan, everybody around the table here at Wayfair and back at our offices at INO Broadcasting. I am Graham DePonte. This is Rich Collins, who's been sitting in for us. Thanks for joining us. Look forward to seeing you guys again on Happy Hour.
Thank you for having
Thanks
us.
a lot, guys.
Andy, thanks
I
for
had a
being a
wonderful-
one-man guest.
No problem.
The Starlight Lounge presents An Evening with the Progressive Box.
Old moon, yeah. That's Hugo, tickling the ivories. He just saved by bundling home and auto with Progressive. Gonna finally buy a ring for that gal of yours, Hugo? Send her my condolences. Hi-oh! This next one's for you two. There's a burglar in my heart. Thank you.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.